In this quick video, we are going to look at the Jetpack plugin for WordPress and kind of look at some of the things that it can give you in terms of functionality improvements to your WordPress site. So once you have gone through the process of setting up a WordPress.com account and enabling Jetpack within your site, you can go into Plugins. So we go Plugins, Installed Plugins, and then we find Jetpack and we click Settings. And from here, we can look at different kinds of things that we have available to us. The first tab is writing. You can add the WordPress.com toolbar, which will make your experience of publishing new content similar to what it is on WordPress.com. You can choose to write pages or posts in something called Markdown, which is a way to kind of express HTML in a little bit more simplistic format. We can have check your spelling, style, and grammar for your posts. If we come down to media, we've got display images in a full screen carousel. So that basically gives you a light box without having to do any extra setup. It just works. You can change the color scheme for that. In performance and speed, we can do a lot of things here. We can turn on Enable Site Accelerator, which will allow Jetpack to do things like serve our images and our static files like CSS and JavaScript from CDN, and a CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. It basically means there are a number of servers all over the world, and depending on where somebody visits your site from, the CDN will know where that location is and serve the assets from a server that is closest to them. It makes a huge difference in site speed. So we can also speed up image load times. We can speed up static file load times. Both of these are turning on serving from a CDN. We can lazy load images. So if you have a bunch of images on your site and some of them appear off screen, making your user wait for the whole page to load because there are images below the fold that need to be loaded isn't really that useful to them. So if you turn on Enable Lazy Loading, that will make it so the browser will then check for the scroll position getting to a certain point before it starts loading the images below that. We've got more things down here: custom content types, testimonials, portfolios, etc. We've got theme enhancements, so we can do infinite scroll. We can turn on a mobile theme. We can publish posts by sending an email. Like, there's all kinds of stuff here that make your WordPress experience a lot easier. So the things that I would recommend above all else is turning on the site accelerator, enabling lazy loading images, and potentially using a full screen carousel for your galleries. We have other stuff in here. You can add like buttons to your content and kind of update the way that your content can be shared. We can change the comment behavior, like people can make comments using Twitter, Facebook, or WordPress.com. You can allow people to subscribe to your blog if that's what you want to do. We can turn on related content. If you had a bunch of different posts, Jetpack is smart enough to be able to tell what content is related, and you can show that after the post if you're so inclined. Then we can have site verification meta tags that get inserted into your site for different search engines. And then finally, we have some security things here where if you have monitor your site's downtime on, if your site goes down for any reason, you can get an email that will tell you that your site's down. There is security against data loss, malware, and malicious attacks. That is a premium, so you have to pay for that to get that feature. But there's a lot of good security stuff in here, and even though there are some services that you get for the premium tier of Jetpack, you get a whole lot for free, and it makes it entirely worth doing, and I would strongly suggest using Jetpack. The last thing I'll say about Jetpack and the things that it gives you out of the box is that it gives you a little bit of site analytics, so you can kind of see what your traffic is. This is a site that I created for a local painting company, so it's useful for this person to know that on July 12th they had 8 people view their site, and that 14,000 malicious login attempts have been blocked because of Jetpack. So this is a really, really great plugin, and I would encourage you to use it. Let me show you a couple things in practice that it does. I know that there's probably some disappointment about using the theme that we're using for the final in class, but this is a site that I made with that theme. It's reasonably nice looking, looks pretty clean, looks like a fully featured site, even though it started out with that super, super bare bones theme that we're all using. But let's look at commercial. And then we come down to the gallery here. We've got this kind of like mosaic effect going on with the gallery where it tiles each image rather in a specific way. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that these images here just loaded in after they scrolled above the fold. And that's great because like if I had loaded this page and I never came down here, I don't need to load these images here at this part of the screen and pay for that in data usage if I'm never going to look at them. So turning on that lazy load feature is really, really nice. So this is like the tiled mosaic look for the gallery. And if I were to click on one of these, you'll see that I get a Lightbox slideshow. And that's super, super nice. It's really nice to just have that without having had to do any extra work other than installing Jetpack and flipping a switch. So that's Jetpack. Hope you find it useful, and that should make a lot of your WordPress needs just a whole lot easier to accomplish.